people called me rude, and I had no idea why. Turns out I was the problem. The whole time I was the problem. I had genuinely no idea. And I could not figure why. Like I had not done anything wrong. I was just being nice. And I was the one who always was showing up and making things easy. And somehow I kept ending up in situations where people were cold to me or slowly drifting away or acting like I had done something wrong. I thought I was just unlucky. Unlucky with friendship, unlucky with attracting wrong people. And then I figured out what was actually happening. And it was so much worse than bad luck. I was the one doing it myself every single time. And hear me out before you move along on why your people pleasing habits are killing you. This video covers very different things, and I want you to know where we're going. So, what we'll talk about is the actual patterns, the specific way I showed up in relationships, and why it always eventually blew up. And we're going to get into what's actually happening psychologically underneath all of it. Because there are real names to this stuff, and knowing those names genuinely helped me. And we are going to be talking about what it felt like from the inside like loneliness, confusion, shame around it. And we are going to talk about what I have started to understand about why it kept repeating. This is not a self help video. I'm not going to give you 5 steps. I'm just going to be honest about something that I have spent years basically being confused about it. And hopefully, some of it lands for you too. Part one, the pattern. The way I worked every relationship, and I mean every single one. So I came in completely open, fully available. I was warm. I was easy to talk to, always there. And I tell myself, okay, I'll figure it out what I am actually comfortable with later. Or maybe once I get comfortable, then we can talk about like what my priority is. So this was my view of friendships and of relationship was earlier. I didn't want to share my vulnerabilities in the starting. So in the meantime, I was ready for everything. Like I would go everywhere you want to. I would to simply show up for you when I was literally exhausted. And I literally went out of my way constantly, and people felt really close to me really fast. They think that I understand them, and because of this, they trusted me. They liked me, they finally felt understood, and that felt good. That part was real. I cannot deny it that I had any ill intentions behind it, that they were opening up because I was present, but I was not opening up into sharing all my vulnerabilities with them. But I was also giving from a place that was not full. I eventually I'd hit a wall. I'd start pulling back, having preferences, being less available, and from their side it looked like I completely had changed. They thought I became difficult or cold or something was wrong. Now after some time, I started to literally put my needs in front of them. Earlier, I was constantly available all the time there for them, and now I had needs. And I would say I do not like that, or I don't want to do that, or I cannot be available for you all the time. I am exhausted, and I started saying that I'm exhausted after some time. And people literally thought there was something wrong that was happening. That why is she speaking up now, or has she become cold? Some of them got hurt. Some of the people that I had good relationships with got distant, and few of them got and this is the part I could not understand for so long. Some of them got actually rude, cold, short with me for no visible reason that I could see. And I kept wondering what I did, what I have done, because in my mind, I had not done anything wrong. I was still a good person, I still cared about them. What I didn't understand yet was that I had changed the rules without telling anyone. I gave them a completely different map of who I was then and quietly updated it without explanation. And you cannot do that to people to expect them to just follow along. It does not work like that. Now that I understand now. So, what's actually happening? Most people know about fight or flight. When you are stressed by your body, either you want to fight, or run. But there are actually 4 responses, and one of them is called fawning. Fawning is people pleasing as a survival mechanism. It's what happens when your nervous system have learned at some point, often early in your life, that keeping people happy is how you stay safe. Someone around you is upset or uncomfortable. That is a threat. So you do everything you can to make sure nobody ever feel that way. And the thing about survival response is it's not something that you think through. It's an automatic response. It happens before your brain even catches up, which is why you say yes and then immediately wonder why you say yes. And it's a reflex that was useful at some point ever in my life and your life, and it just never got an update. It is still running on software 1.0. The other thing is that's happening is something called anxious attachment. It's basically a way of relating to people where you are constantly, even without realizing it, scanning for signs that they might leave. And that overgiving is the start of the relationship. The fully being available, making yourself completely easy, that's your nervous system trying to secure the connection before it feels safe. That you can be yourself in a relationship like that. So that's your overgiving part. You are just trying to make yourself indispensable before you show them who you actually are. Okay, this is very important. You, by overgiving, you're trying to make sure that they don't dispose you off after a certain time. You're trying to prove your value to them. It's a hard bargain. Understanding this does not make the pattern, okay, but it does make it make sense. And for me, making sense of it was the first time I could look at all of this without just hating myself, okay, without just hating myself for it. Part two, why they pulled away. So here's the part that confused me the most for the longest time. Why would people get genuinely cold or rude when I started pulling back, when I felt like I had not done anything wrong? And the answer that do not want to accept is that their perspective I kind of had, not in a moral sense, but in a relationship sense. When you come into a relationship being fully available, laughing everything off, saying every yes, never showing that anything bothers you, people build their whole idea of you on that. They get comfortable, they stop being careful because you have shown them there is no reason to be. And when the real version of you, it starts to come up, show up, the one who has things, right? She does not like, she does not always available, have some needs. They don't experience that as you being finally being honest. They experience it as you becoming someone else. And some people, they respond with confusion, some with hurt, and some with that specific cold rudeness that I kept running into and could never explain. And the thing that got me when I finally understood this was that I could not even be angry at them. I had set the whole thing up. I had given people a picture of what being close to me would look like and then slowly changed it without telling them. Of course, they didn't know what to do with that. A lot of those relationships didn't end it because other people were bad. They ended because I had never actually let those people meet me, the real me. So, what's actually happening here? So here's why setting limits early feels so impossible. And I mean genuinely impossible, not just hard. There is a cycle I lived in for years that I only I recognized it when I wrote it down in my journal. You give too much that you feel drained, you start resenting the relationship. Once you pull back, the other person get confused or hurt, there's tension or distance, and then you feel guilty. And then you go back to giving too much to fix it. Then it starts again, and it keep on going until one of you leaves. And underneath that cycle is something that sounds dramatic, but I think is more accurate to say it's basically an addiction to be liked. When someone trusts you, when someone helps someone, when you make a situation easier, your brain genuinely gets a reward from that. It feels good. So saying no or letting someone be even slightly disappointed in you does not feel uncomfortable. It feels like someone is being taken from you. Something is being taken from you, and your brain will do a lot to avoid that feeling. And then there is the identity piece which hit me the hardest. When you are adjustable to everything, when you are always shifting to fit the situation, the needs of the situation, you will eventually lose the track of who you actually are. Because, okay, you have never held it long enough to find out. You don't know what you really want or what you won't do because you have spent long time figuring out what everyone else needs. That confusion, not knowing where you end, this is not a personality flaw. That's what happened when you never got to just be yourself consistently around people who make you safe. Part 3, what it feels like from inside. So I want to talk about what this actually feels like from the inside because I think people who have not experienced it don't fully understand that how strange it can be. From the outside, everything looked fine. I looked like someone who had good relationship, who was easy to be around, who people trusted. And none of that was completely fake. Okay, none of them was completely fake. I really did care. I was easy to be around people and people did trust me, but there was this particular kind of loneliness that usually come with all of it and I have not had really described anywhere. It's not the loneliness of being alone, it's being surrounded by people, genuinely laughing and talking with them, and still having this quiet sense that they don't actually know me. because the version they know is agreeable, always fine, fully available version, and the real one with actual feelings that have issues, that have problems, and things that bother me, that has not shown up yet. I never gave the actual window to her to come out. And I remember small moment that summed it up. Someone would say something that bothered me, not even something huge, and I'd laugh it off immediately, like before I even had time to decide. And then later that day, I'd be somewhere and think, why did I laugh it off? Not why did they say it, why did I laugh? I knew in the moment that it was not funny to me. I just couldn't let my face show something they might not like. And there was something else. I over explained everything. If I said no to something or had an opinion, whole justification, even when nobody asked for one. And what I understand now is that I was preemptively defending myself against a reaction that had not even happened yet. I was proving I was allowed to have that opinion, that how little I trusted that just being myself would be enough. Here is the thing I keep coming back to. I think that it is actual point of everything I said today. I used to wait. I wait until the relationship felt secure and secure enough until I trusted enough, and then I finally be honest about who I was and what I needed. And every time it fell apart, I just tell myself I just need to find people who make me feel safe sooner. But what I have slowly understood is that the safety I was waiting for, the whole feeling of it, was it's okay to be myself. That can only come from being real. I have to be real first, not after. You cannot, and I say it again, you cannot earn enough trust to finally be honest. The honesty is what builds the trust. You can't do it the other way around and accept get somewhere real. That's the terrifying thing to actually do because it means letting people meet you before you have become what they might want. Some people will leave earlier, but the one who will stay, those relationships will feel completely different. Like you can actually breathe in those relationships, and I'm still figuring this out. And maybe I have found some friends who really like me for who I am. I still catch myself halfway through over explaining, people pleasing, thinking, and doing the thing again. And that's okay. The catching it is in you and it means something. If you recognized yourself in any of these, drop yourself in the comment. You don't have to explain the whole thing to me. Even just saying yes is enough. Thank you for watching. I will see you next time. And if you really like this, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. I will see you next time.